Welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be talking with you about what you need to start your NCLEX business within the next 30 days. So let's get right into it. Starting an NCLEX business is not as hard as you may think. It's very simple, so I'm going to go over with you what are the tools that you need in order to start one that is completely legitimate and can start to bring income. The first thing that you will need is you're going to need a website. So a website is very important because trust and credibility is super important when it comes to anything related to like nursing, healthcare, obtaining a license. So you will need to establish a website, and there's different ways to do this, but you should honestly just go through the ones that are more common and more well known and very easy to set up. So what I recommend is going through honestly Bluehost. I'll put the link below in the video description to learn more about it. But essentially, Bluehost is a platform that they not only provide web hosting services, but they also as well provide the domain name. So that's essentially going to be the name of your website. And then also they provide really great customer service as well. So if you go through the link in the description, which is the referral link, you actually get a special deal if you go through the link, and that would be a great way for you to get started. So after that one, the second thing you're going to need is you're going to need a social media page. So you need to have a way for people to become aware of who you are by creating a social media page. So this could be a Facebook account, an Instagram account. This could be a YouTube account. It could be any of those type of platforms, a TikTok account. I recommend that you try to start with one first because it may be challenging for most people to do more than one at the same time. When you create the social media page, create one from scratch. I don't recommend using your existing personal pages, which has all of your, family life, personal life on it, most likely, and then trying to switch it over. I recommend that you start from scratch, give it a name that you want to call your business. There's no pressure. You can always change the name later on. All right. So go ahead and start that social media page, set it up, have a business page because you want it to be. The reason why a business page is important too is that it's going to be easily more search and index on Google. So Google will be able to discover your page. But if you continue using your personal account, they're not going to know who you are. They're not going to discover you more easily. So set up a social media page. All right. Now that you've done that, the third thing you want to do is that you want to go ahead and create a product or service, right? So this is not just, starting an NCLEX business, but starting any business really. You obviously need to set up a product or service that people can pay you through, and that's how your business will generate income. So you'll start off with just one product or service, and then from there, then you can always add additional products and services. So think about what that product is going to be, what that service is going to be. It could be, for example, tutoring. That's one product or service, right? Or it can be that you create a book, or it can be that you have a class, or it can be that you create a course. But start off with one and put it together, or a question bank, put it together, right? And that's going to be your product or service. You want to make sure that it's something that people are already actively searching for or interested in. So if you're going to try to create a product or service that most people don't typically are typically interested in when it comes to starting an NCLEX business, then you will probably be disappointed, or a test prep business or whatever business it is. So try to pick a product or service that's already in demand, and that will be very easy to sell and not hard to generate income from it. So you're going to create that product or service, and when you create that product or service, you will need to set up a merchant account, which is like, for example, with Stripe or PayPal. Those are the most common ones, where that's how you are able to create the payment links, so that way people can purchase or buy whatever your product or service that you decide to make it to be. Okay, so that's number 3. Now the next thing, number 4, is that you're going to need an email list builder. An email list builder. So what that means is that when you create your social media page, right, people are going to become interested in what you're doing, right? And so most people are not going to be ready to buy immediately, but you want to create a database, and the database is where people can essentially join your email list, and that is how they will stay connected with you when they are ready to buy. All right. So you will need to set up an email list provider. And it's also helpful to, when you pick an email list provider, the important thing is that it's able to send emails, meaning that when you send an email, it gets in people's email inbox and not in like the promotions folder or something, which makes it kind of useless, you know. So having a good email list provider is very important, so that way you can get your message across to those people that's already showed an interest in your products and services. I will put a link in the description, the email providers that I recommend to help you get started. If you're wondering about the cost, there's different email providers that are not very expensive. But what happens typically is that as your email list gets bigger, then it costs more. So when you're just getting started and you don't have any people on your email list, it's not very expensive. It's very, very affordable. All right, so that's the 4th thing that you're going to need. All right, so hopefully you're writing all this down. Then now the 5th thing that you will need, number 5, is what we call a lead magnet. All right, a lead magnet. So what does that mean? So you need something that people will give you their email address in exchange for. All right. So you need to create something, and that whatever that something is, it should ideally be in alignment with whatever your product or service is. So let's say, for example, your service is tutoring, right? That's what your service is going to be. So then you could create a free lead magnet that says, okay, here's my PDF guide that goes over 7 things you can do to help you to remember what you're studying, right? See what I mean? So essentially that will be something that would help somebody that would be eventually be interested in your tutoring services. So you need to create that lead magnet. It doesn't have to cost you literally anything. You can literally create it using Google, right? Google Docs or Microsoft Word. Try to make it look nice though, so that way people take it seriously, you know. And if you want, you can always also make it in Canva, or you can send it to somebody on Fiverr, and the person on Fiverr, they can make it look nice, you know, add your website on it and everything, so that way people take it more seriously, you know. So that's what you call a lead magnet. And so what you're essentially going to do, that's what you're doing, is that you're going to combine all those things together, from the lead magnet, the email provider, the website, the social media page, and the product or service. All that is going to be connected together, which is what we call a funnel, which is what leads people to buy whatever your product or service is going to be. So that's essentially what are the things you're going to need to do, or that you're going to need in order to launch your business within the next 30 days. You can absolutely do it. I did it, and it's not as hard as you think. Honestly, getting started is the easiest part. It's something that it's not difficult, but you have to be willing to do it, and then it's definitely going to be well worth your time and very rewarding. So like I mentioned, those are the 5 things you need. One more time. Number 1, you need a website. Number 2, you need to set up a social media page, right? Number 3, you need to decide whatever your product or service is going to be. Number 4, you need to set up an email list builder. And once again, like I said, all these things I'll link below. And then also number 5, you need to also create a lead magnet, which can be, a few pages long. Set it up, try to make it look nice, and you connect all of it together, and voila, that is how you get started with building out your business literally within the next 30 days. Now, if all of this sounds overwhelming or challenging, I promise you it's not. It's something that you can do. I've done it multiple times over and over again. But I do provide help for those that feel like they can't do it on their own, like you want to get started, but you're not sure, what are the steps into more detail. Then I do offer consulting or coaching that will help you to get started. You can always check out the link in the description if you want to book a meeting. And then also I do have a book as well. So we have an ebook also as well that you can check in the link in the comments that will help you to get started with your business. And so that will also be a great resource. The webinar training is a great opportunity where you can and then last see it more laid out certainly and more not practical least, steps. Is that I also have like a webinar training. So that would be a great opportunity for you to check out. I posted the information for you literally in the link in the description right now. So it's totally for free as well. You can go right now to the link and register to watch it for free. And I'll show you how to start your test prep business. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and I'll see you the next time.